Welcome to the Sebs Show,
Oh,
everybody.
there we
It's your
go.
boy.
Sorry.
You drew me out. Welcome to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs. Here with my co-host Gib. Ready to break down UFC 228. We're a little bit late. It's fucking Friday night, and we're breaking this down now. We were gonna break it down earlier in the week, but NFL was on. Stuff had to happen. I had to have my priorities straight there. But we're breaking it down right now. Got a whole bunch of bets. Got 8 up at the moment. There's potentially 9. Well, there's gonna be 9. I'm just waiting for the odds tomorrow. To get a little bit better. But yeah, we'll start this thing off, man. First up, we got Roberto Little Fury Sanchez taking on Jared the Monkey God Brooks.
Whoa.
Let me tell you, Jared Brooks is taking this on like a week notice. Very short notice. Was able to make weight. He had to gain weight at one point to weigh 125. He was 123 two days or a day before the weigh-ins, which is crazy, man. This guy is like tiny little guy, but he's like it's real. How tall is he? I think he's the same size as DJ.
I don't think it's too bad, is it? Like the weight? Or sorry, the height?
Oh no. He made it quite easily, like I said. But I'm just surprised that like this guy can take like all these short notice fights, and that means that's fucking awesome. Good for him. He's going against Roberto Sanchez, who has some deadly fucking submission skills, but I think that's going to be negated with Roberto on his back. He's going to have to be very creative in his guard, and Jared Brooks is facing top quality submission artists already. And guys like Davidson has his nasty guillotine. Jared Brooks, when you face Eryk Shelton has no slouch on the ground either. But none to the degree of Roberto Sanchez. Jared Brooks, on the other hand, very good takedowns. Slams, actually. I know he knocked himself out in his last fight, but he looked good in his last fight until he knocked himself out. He looked rather good in that fight. Against Davison, I thought he beat Davison Figueiredo. So this guy can be fucking undefeated right now if he didn't have those 2 bad breaks. He's going for this so he doesn't get his 3rd straight loss, and Warren, the guy is minus 400. I don't like the odds on that at minus 400. So I went and I think he's gonna win by decision here. So I took him at plus 105. 4 units at plus 105 by decision. Jared Brooks to win by decision. To win 4.2 units at minus plus 105. So I'm pretty confident in that happening. Jared Brooks doesn't have a lot of power in his hands. I don't see him submitting Roberto Sanchez. I see this going to decision. It was 30-27. Jared Brooks. Let's go.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one. I think Jared Brooks, he's got a lot of unpredictable stuff on the feet. Got a great spinning backhand. He's probably used in all of his fights, along with the slams, along with the amazing takedowns and angle changes in the fence, either to set up like a back take or even a slam. Again, I guess seeing his last fight, the slam could be a bit of a coin flip. Can hurt himself while doing it, but I mean, I think that's just what happened, what went down in that fight. It was pretty good. I thought he was doing really well in that fight. Hell, I think he was even doing great against Davison Figueiredo, and that was a very, very close fight, I thought. But Jared Brooks is still pretty sneaky in the way he strikes. Check out his CJ Hamilton fight. I mean, he was like close to knocked out in the 2nd round. And he's got a really tough head and gets back into that fight. at one point he got his back and got his leg locked down and had him in almost a headlock too. Crazy, and Roberto Sanchez, on the other hand, he's great on the ground too. Right when his opponents slip up and get there, I mean, he's threatening constant stuff. Guillotines. He likes to jump into his guard. But again, with Jared Brooks, he can slam him, and not the greatest spot to be for a jiu-jitsu guy after being slammed. When the fight gets to the ground, he starts to put together really good transitions into his positions. He's really good on the fence as well. That'll be an interesting fight if see how each fighter does on the fence. They're both kind of known for getting their wins, getting those easy points on the fence with the aggression. There was one fight where he fought Trent Minix at his really early on, like maybe 3 or 4 fights in, and he got slammed in that fight, but he was able to put on an armbar. So he's been given that problem before, but he's been able to do it. But I think Jared Brooks will be quite enough for him on the stand-up. I think he does go to a decision, like you said, and Jared Brooks takes it.
Yeah, Roberto Sanchez is tough too. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
Even though he got dropped by Joseph Morales, the guy is tough. But I don't see Jared. I think Jared's the better fighter all around in every aspect of the game. And like Roberto Sanchez, what he's best at, Jared's just a little bit better at. Not even just a little bit better. He's a quality fighter.
Yeah,
man, like way better in the wrestling department, and I think way better in the stand-up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Jared all day here. Next up, we got Irene Aldana taking on Lucy Pudilova. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
Irene Aldana, even with her loss against Chukagian, it was a good split decision fight, I have to admit. She landed a lot of nice right hands when Chukagian was standing on that one leg. Likes to pop that left jab a lot. Really good control in her output of punches. And you definitely don't want to take too many of her combos because she'll just keep the 2s and 3s up there. I thought she imposed a lot of will on Chukagian. It was just Chukagian's kicks seemed to keep her in the fight, and Aldana at a bit of a distance to her. And early on in her fight, she had gotten 2 submissions in Invicta. So, I mean, I'd like to see maybe a return for that in this fight because Lucia Pudilova is nasty on the stand-up. She's got some pretty I think she's actually hits a little harder, but they use similar punches, lots of jabs, lots of right hands, even a jab left hook too. But Pudilova just, I think, rocks her head slips with it a little bit better. She's not afraid to scrap. Her last 2 fights looked really good. She got a laser sight jab as well. She likes to probe with her left hand before dropping the right. And she cracked Landsberg a lot in that fight, especially got her bloody in the last round. So I think Lucia Pudilova takes this one.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think Lucy takes this one as well. I think she has some nasty stand-up. I think she should be undefeated in the UFC so far. I think she beat Lena Landsberg in her debut.
Yeah, it's a weird fight.
Even Lena Landsberg said that she won. So, yeah, but Irene brings that good boxing, that Mexican boxing to the octagon and whatnot. Tough call. I'm gonna go with Lucy Pudilova though. I think she has the better striking here, and I think she gets the job done. And might be a split decision, 29-28 for Lucy Pudilova. Might be. So I saw somebody else called that on Twitter. MMA Carlton, he called that. Yeah, he called it split.
Nice.
So let's see what happens. All right, next up we got Jim Miller taking on Alex White. And Alex White, man, if you see the stand-up he was putting on, James Krause, he was looking He was looking dangerous there.
Wow. Yeah.
He was looking real good.
That's a really good fight.
The only bad part about it is when he was getting taken down. He was getting taken down at will against James Krause, who's a big boy and fights at 170 now. And it just knocked out Worley Alves, or just stopped Worley Alves. But Alex White has I think, some real good striking. He comes forward with his pressure. He has to work on that wrestling. That's about it. If he had some elite wrestling, man, this guy would be a pretty good damn fighter. Pretty damn good fighter. Pretty damn good fighter he would be, man. Fucking if he had some elite wrestling skills too, because I like his striking, and he's going against Jim Miller here, who, in my opinion, I think is done. I think Jim Miller's done, man. It's not like me to tell people when to call quits, but Jim Miller is like, ever since he's had that Lyme disease, poor guy is just like been eaten up inside the octagon with his cardio and whatnot. And I think that knockout against Dan Hooker was what really showed that
decline.
The decline, and that he's done, man. That it's, I think it might be over for him that after that knockout. I like Alex White in this fight to simply win with his pressure and his striking, possibly stop Jim Miller. And yeah, I got Alex White here. I got 3 units on Alex White out, minus 132, I believe. Let me just double check this for you guys. Minus 132 to win 2.27 units. So 3 units Alex White, minus 132 to win 2.27 units. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. I gotta agree with you. I normally take these underdogs in these fights, and I like looking at Jim Miller a lot. I think we have a mirror match on our hands because they're both southpaw. Jim Miller's an interesting veteran. He's got a great, I think he's an interesting style. For a guy who has Lyme disease, he seems to bounce a lot. He's got a nice kind of brisk walk and standing in the pocket, lead right hand to him as well. Can sometimes rush forward into corners as he's parried out and kind of traded kicks with Anthony Pettis, which I personally think is one of his real good fights because he shows a lot of heart in it, and obviously he shows how much he's battling the stamina. But again, he slows that Pettis down a little bit and even counters him on the jiu-jitsu front. They both trade a little bit. Jim Miller actually gets his back a few times, but it's very, very hard to look at pros on fights where he does lose the main battle. There are only very few kind of flashes of oh man, here we go, he's come back in this, or okay, here we go, the triangle armbar is coming up. But again, he was able to defend a few submission attempts from Pettis that fight. Obviously, since then, it's been a little difficult to find that momentum. He's got a good left high kick, and he even pulled off a cartwheel kick in that fight. So he's not, he's not shy of throwing the crazy punch, the Hail Mary when he needs it. But again, against Alex White, who's another southpaw, who had just an awesome fight with James Krause. I recommend you guys go watch that fight. Real good. Alex White really tried to hustle when it went to the ground and get out of bad spots, which he did. And even went even in a bad position, will go for attacks on the arm or triangle, hustling to get back up. Really doing good trading takedowns in the second. Uppercuts, double right hands, jabs, left hooks can be thrown. from both stances. He likes to switch too. He switches going backwards sometimes and will land a counter. Real nice stuff. Alex White with some great combos. He can hunt when the opportunity presents itself, which is why I think he can take Jim Miller here, because that opportunity is getting closer and closer as Jim Miller throws and misses a big punch. Against Roy Babcock, he avoided some crazy spinning kicks in the first round, and he even got put in some leg lock trouble in the second, and he fought out of it and won by ground pound strikes. So, if Jim Miller does try to impose some jiu-jitsu, he can deal with it. So I think Alex White takes his fight. Sorry, I see if we can bring back for you guys. Hold on. All right, we're back. So yeah, I got Alex White.
Yeah. All right. Sick buzz. So we both got Alex White here. I'm just looking at something here. All right. Next up, Diego Sanchez taking on Craig White here. I know what you guys are thinking because I took Craig White. I'm taking Craig White. I got 3 units on him at minus 217 to win 1.38 units. But I'm taking this kid simply because Diego Sanchez does not have a chin anymore. And, it's gone, man. He's been knocked out way too many times. I think he struggles here in this matchup. Craig White's a big boy at 6'2", 170 pounds. Diego is a guy who's made featherweight before. I think this is a mismatch in size. I see Craig White just running him over pretty much. Just like if he capitalizes and he's smart and he strikes with Diego Sanchez like he should, he'll knock out Diego Sanchez rather quickly. Mm-hmm. And then if he wants, I think he can actually out-grapple Diego Sanchez. He's very good off his back, and he's bigger than him. He can just out-muscle him. I think he's a bigger and maybe a better grappler overall. Maybe, who knows? We only saw him against that one fight against Neil Magny where he didn't look awful, but super tough fight when you're fighting Neil Magny. You get dropped like that.
Yeah.
But if you go watch his Cage Warrior fights, the guy is no joke. He finishes people in the first round like it's his job. So I got Craig White here by demolitions. I got 3 units on him at minus 217 to win 1.38 units.
Yeah, Diego Sanchez has been kind of deteriorating as of his Marcin Held fight. That was his last big win, as well as one over Jim Miller. But again, that fight was weird too. I thought Marcin Held kind of stopped in a lot of places where he could have confronted Diego Sanchez a little bit more, but he almost got out-veteraned, kind of got schooled in a few basics, and just Diego Sanchez going in and kind of throwing rough and then going back to basics, and then using some mean right hooks. He's a big pocket guy. He can spend it all on one intense flurry of punches, but if you sit back and let him do it, he'll beat you up the entire fight. He's got a good middle kick that he uses in emergencies if opponents kind of rest a little bit too long. But Diego kind of drops his hands and starts to walk a bit. And obviously when he gets tired, you can just see it in his face. He goes for some submission attempts every now and then. I can actually see that going bad for him in this fight because Craig the Thundercat White is actually really good at grappling as well. Fought Alex Montagny, beat him in from the first round. Obviously had a rough fight against Neil Magny. Again, Neil Magny's kind of been there, has way more fights in the UFC, so it was a difficult fight for him again. But like landing elbows while on Montagny in a triangle, constantly throwing downward elbows was great to see. It's difficult to fight him in the later rounds because he really presses people up against the fence a lot and looks to slowly drain you, and that could be bad for Diego Sanchez. He likes to take down, land off of breaks and his clinches. I wonder if he can last in like a hectic brawl though. You don't really have to land much with Diego Sanchez to kind of get him clipped, but you know, he's standing on pure willpower, so you know, really putting his energy up against the ultimate test, putting him up against the fence until you think he's at the right moment, and then try to cook him when you think you can just beat him out in maybe the second or third round. So I think Craig White wins this. Whether he walks into it later on or ends it early, I'm not sure, but I think Diego Sanchez is running on a lot of fumes right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Diego Sanchez is at the very end of his career, and it's only a matter of time till we see him like finish here and like be done with his career. But next up, we got Charles Bird, Kid Dynamite taking on Darren Stewart, Dentist. Charles Bird, only thing that was I got Charles Bird here, by the way.
Okay.
I got 3.5 units on him at minus 217 to win 1.61 units. But I got Charles Bird here just because I think he's going to be able to dominate the wrestling aspect of this fight. I think he's going to be able to take him down at will. Darren Stewart doesn't have the best get-up game, and he does like to tap the mat. I think Charles Bird gets him down and chokes him out. I think Charles Bird has good enough striking to keep this like a relatively close on the feet and then take him down whenever he pleases. But I got Charles Bird all day here. I think it's kind of like a repeat of what happened in the John Phillips fight. And I think Charles Bird gets it done here.
Yeah, man. This is a good fight. I like Charles Bird a lot. I think he really worked his way up through that contender series. We was able to see his weapons against Buddy Wallace. He really shatters you with those kicks. Even taken down in fights, he can scramble back up and put fighters against the fence. He can look a little open at times and run into shots, but he's very good at rallying back, countering, locking up 2 chokes back to back, and he's gotten knockouts in a lot of fights too. In very old fight 4 years ago, Derek Krantz, who I would not mind seeing in the UFC, got a Von Flue choke on him. So, he's a bit. He has lost a fight or two, but so is Darren Stewart. His last few fights weren't working out for him. Finally got a win against Eryk Spicely. I like how he throws. Darren Stewart throws his hands, lots of jabs in there. Really looking to throw a hail of punches and just storm people. So I think this would be a good fight. He's also pretty good on the ground when his ground and pound is also implemented. He can turn on the jets when he wants to and hail down those punches. He can take a little too long to get fighters to make his way into fighters. but again was able to land great successful combos against Spicely. A lot of quick back foot foot off the fence. Pretty good fighting his way out of it. A lot of good jabs, right kick from Bird to be on the lookout for this one, because I always feel like Darren Stewart is a little open for that kick. A lot of creativity near the end of rounds when Darren Stewart fights. Really mixes up the punches at times. He can be a bit predictable to start, but with the way he works and the output of punches, he can very easily overwhelm opponents. So I actually want to take Darren Stewart in this fight, and I actually like seeing him win against Eryk Spicely. He needed that one.
He definitely needed that one. He's not getting this one. He's not going to do good against an athletic wrestler who can strike, in my opinion.
The kicks are big for me, man. He'll definitely get crumbled if he gets hit by one of those big body kicks.
I don't know about that. His kicks are nasty, but he usually doesn't pull anything off with his feet. It's not like he maintains distance well or anything with them. I'm not worried about his feet. Yeah. I got Charles Bird here.
All right.
Next up, Jeff Neal and the steel taking on Frank Camacho. This is probably going to be a war, man.
Awesome fight.
For as long as it lasts, it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
But Frank Camacho likes to get into those brawls and, like cheer get the crowd to cheer him on, all bloody and shit, and just fucking just have wars, man. And Jeff Neal is actually a really good striker. Nasty one, too.
Yeah.
Very strong for 170 pounds. One of his two losses are to Kevin Holland at 185 pounds. And he took that on short notice. This guy he's legit, man. He's got some nasty hands in his last fight. Oh shit, my thing just froze. The last fight against Brian Camozzi, he sat his ass down real quick and fucking showed why they call him Hand of Steel. And against Chase Walden, the same thing, man. He sat him down rather quickly as well. I think it's only a matter of time till he does his job again and looks good.
All right. So just the last 30 seconds, not even.
Yeah, it's just gonna be his toughest fight. One of his tougher fights, but I think he gets the job done. I'm thinking about putting 2.5 units on him. Just waiting for the line to come down a little bit, but I do like Jeff Neal a lot. That will be my final play of the night. I'll be taking Jeff Neal. Just waiting for that line to come down a little bit, but I do like Jeff Neal in this spot.
Yeah.
Next up, or no, you have to go.
Yeah, good reasons, man. I mean, he threw Camozzi up against the fence and pressed the entire fight. Really only stepping back to avoid shots and bounce back in with a good combo. Like you said, those amazingly fast 1-2s. As a southpaw with a great left hand, I mean, he throws these in 2s and 3s if necessary as well. Showing off some good submission skill, choking out Camozzi after a good combo. Great knee into a bulldog kind of hanging choke from Camozzi against the cage. Not sure if if Frank's grappling and his can really battle it out. Frank's got some good skills as well, but I think Jeff has a lot of power though, a lot of strength. which will come into play as well. And Frank's a tough guy, but you take too many of those, and your jiu-jitsu also takes a bit of a downgrade too. First round could decide the fight. I mean, Frank could be a lot to handle in the early goings. You know, he's got a very special type of toughness in that Drew Dauber fight. You know, you can see that he lands a lot of great body kicks and super tough in that Jing Liang fight. And these are fights that he loses, but he can swarm people with punches, and they don't call him the Crank for nothing, because when he gets a lot of good positions and gets a lot of gets that headlock, you can really get that crank on people's joints, legs, arms, anything. It's a tough fight for him. And you know, check out how he tosses Jing Liang to the ground in the first round of that fight. Right hand is on the money for him in an orthodox stance. A bit of a bounce to it as well. Jing Liang was able to take the back in the first round and started to the end. Watch out for his left hook, because he's real hard to stand up with once he lands it a lot. Likes to go for those two pieces too, left hook and a right hook as well. Goes for the two headshots. I like that. But again, I mean, Jeff ONeal has a lot of those same punches, and it'll be toe-to-toe for a lot of them. And again, the power difference kind of goes to Jeff ONeal. I'd like to see Frank take this after his last.
Hear jokes, bro.
Sorry, yeah, it's Jeff Neal. Sorry,
Jeff ONeal.
Yeah, you know what? I was calling him that. I'm like, oh man, ONeal's got a nice right hand, and I just think about Shaq or something. Yeah. So, but again, I think Jeff kind of kills it in the power department, and when they're standing, I think that's where Jeff takes it and starts to really make Frank work. And in those states, he's a tough fighter, but it can get real difficult for him in the third round. So I got Jeff in this one.
Yeah, man. Frank gasses. That's all I need to see when you're a gasser.
Yeah.
When you're a gasser, most of the time I'm not going to put my money on you unless your name's Andrew Sanchez.
Makes sense.
Yeah, unless your name's Andrew Sanchez, you're not getting money on you if you gas, or Conor McGregor, but that's another story. I'm not betting on Conor, by the way. That's what people just insinuated from that. Yeah, next up, Aljamain Sterling. He's on Cody Stamann. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
Yeah, you know what? Cody Stamann and Aljamain Sterling have a very similar problem, but in two different departments. So I think Aljamain Sterling, as athletic as he is, really good in that Brett Johns fight, able to fight off a good boxer who's good at getting people to the ground and beating them up. Aljamain uses great jiu-jitsu, can really put submissions over opponents if they're lazy, and he goes through transitions so quickly. It's just he gets a little ahead of himself and tries to end it. And I've said this before, he'll go for that choke and really pull, really killing those arms, and he goes for it. I mean, he wants that first round submission. It's just that sometimes he spends a lot of energy, and then throughout the fight, you can tell his stand-up is so it's not as loose as it was earlier on, and his spontaneous movement on the feet is what works for him. Outworking his opponent, just running around, constant different walking speeds, and this when he's walking nice and he's not doing too much on the ground that he has to, it doesn't tax him as much. But when he's really going for the kill on the ground, that's when it taxes him, and his stand-up takes a big downgrade as well. Cody Stamann, I mean, he stopped Tyrion Ware's 4-fight winning streak, and he was finishing a lot of guys. Cody's really good at throwing counter shots, and he's got a nice lean back. Those right hands, good takedowns. He likes to taunt fighters at times. So I mean that could hurt Sterling, because I think he likes to talk shit as well. Stamann also stretches out his kicks and all that type of stuff to really get as much range as he can on it. High kicks, front kicks, got a nice range. A good double left hand, a jab, hook combos, dangerous ground and pound, and good at controlling and hooking that bottom leg. But when he goes into his fury swipe mode and he starts to really throw his hands, I think that's where you're going to see his dip in quality. And I think that's something that he also struggles with. So this is going to be an interesting fight. I actually think Aljamain Sterling will take it if it stays on the feet and he doesn't do too much and he doesn't suspend it on the ground.
Yeah. This is another fight where I was going to take Aljamain here. I was actually going to bet Aljamain Sterling, but I don't know. I like the Jeff Neal pick a little bit more. I just think Aljamain's going to be giving Cody a lot of problems on the feet. I think the kicks will give Cody a lot of problems. And I think the reach advantage is going to be huge, just like 7 inches. So with that, I see Aljamain just outstriking Cody Stamann and winning 29-28 decision. No bet, though.
No.
Okay. Next up, Tatiana. Oh, wait. Actually, I do have a bet on that Aljamain Sterling Cody Stamann fight. I have the over rounds.
Okay.
In a parlay with something later in the card, but I have the over rounds, 2.5 over rounds. Yeah. So I think it goes to decision. Carla Esparza taking on Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana's Olympic caliber wrestling for women, man. She's just a level above all these other girls. When you think she like her biggest test is like put to date was like Viviana Pereira, and then she like mauled her, and then it was Alexa Grass when she mauled her. That was gonna be Carla Esparza, former champion. And I see her doing this much of the same. I see her taking down Carla Esparza at will, and just putting a beating on Carla Esparza from the bottom here, and just like really working on Carla Esparza, making her work from the bottom, and just like put a beating on her. I see in the striking department, Carla Esparza is like gone a little bit better, but I think so is Tatiana Suarez in Millennia MMA. But yeah, I think Tatiana Suarez gets the job done. I got Tatiana Suarez. I have 5 units on there with somebody later in the card.
Okay. Yeah, I think Carla Esparza could be scrappy when she needs to on the feet. She'll be overwhelmed a little bit, and I think that's why she starts to turn the pace up. Good fence control, and can scramble out of a few bad positions and put herself into an even better one. Like in the fight with Claudia Gadelha, she was able to mount her and throw some punches down. She did get wrestled a lot up in that fight, and it didn't look too good for her. She had to really push to win those rounds or make them close. She needs to wrestle to win and kind of improvise the hands, maybe flash the eyes and then go for her takedowns, and look for that ground and pound and just be a difficult threat against Tatiana Suarez. But with her wrestling as well, we might even need a bit on the even side, maybe even going a little more towards Suarez. I think she throws some nice side kicks out there, and she's pretty sneaky with the takedowns as well, breaking her opponents with the leg sweeps, and got a really nice hip toss in. She's got good clinch knees, and she's pretty good on the fence as well, being able to strip Grasso off of it onto the floor, pose a lot of big problems early, and avoiding an armbar. So I thought she was good at that. Again, check out how she grabs Alexis's posting arm and then kind of isolates, starts throwing punches with the other arm. I like her stuff on the ground, and because of that, I think if she does take Carla Esparza to the ground, Carla makes it difficult for her, but not too difficult for her to wrap something up. I think she takes this fight. She beats Carla Esparza. I got Tatiana Suarez.
Yep. Next up is we entered the main card. Abdul, Razak, Alhasan taking on Nico Price, and a lot of people are talking good, like Nico Price is something special. I don't see that at all. This guy's nothing.
You didn't like the hammer fist knockout?
No, not impressive at all. Very lucky knockout.
You don't see that every day.
Yeah, pretty lucky he got that. Very like he just gets these lucky knockouts like against Alex Morono when he's getting beat the fuck up and then he gets a knockout at the end. Like very lucky fighter. Won't be happening against Abdul Razak Alhasan, who I think is going to bring the pace and the pressure to him. It's going to be very scary in that first round. That first round's going to be very, very scary for Nico Price. He might shit his pants. I see Abdul Razak Alhasan knocking out Nico Price very quickly, and being a monster in this fight, just absolutely devouring Nico Price. So I got 3 units on Abdul Razak Alhasan at minus 141.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, man. I got Razak in this one too because you got to be real careful around this guy. He's super calm and he can instantly start throwing dangerous shots at the drop of a hat. Uppercuts, fence pressure, can really throw his body into the strikes in a crazy fight with Sabah Hamasi. I really like that fight because in the first one, you kind of saw where Hamasi had Razak in a lot of moments where he was forced to fight him, forced to get him off and really land because when Razak starts to rush people, if he doesn't get hit, he's not stepping back. He's just going to keep coming. So, he was able to pose a bit of a threat and even on the fence hit him with some big shots. And Hamasi did drop, and he was kind of going for that leg, which he said he wasn't out. But in the rematch, Razak pretty much picked it up from where he left off, tagging Hamasi again. Hamasi even had to laugh at a few of the punches that he got hit with. Landed a big uppercut that ended the fight. I think Razak's been ending some people here. The Nico Price. Because of his up-close and personal style, he tends to back a lot of people up. Occasionally, a few leg kicks, good takedown potential, and very fast hands. Vincent Luque was able to choke him out, though, in a previous fight due to just being fast on the feet and, those jumping knees that Nico Price throws are pretty scary, too. What's it called? He got thrown Vincent Luque threw a Darce choke on him like a ninja.
He got quick. Motherfucking dropped in that
fight. Real quick in that fight.
Sloppy striking. Nico Price is sloppy, man.
Put Randy Brown in all sorts of trouble early, though, who was fresh off of the Mickey Gall win in their fight, but battling out of some crazy back takes. Put Price showed out why he's the hybrid, man. He spun out and got out and stood and brawled with the rest of the fight. Uses a nice double jab. When it finds its spots, he was able to win the Randy Brown fight. I felt that way, even after taking that big knee. Like I said, he got that hammer fist knockout. I kind of like when fighters do those crazy things that kind of you have to look at it sideways and almost go, how did that work? But hey, man, that's fighting, and if he pulls it off again, that proves it's no coincidence. But I think Abdul Razak is the real deal, and I actually think he takes out Nico Price, and he might even get himself in a good seat for an even bigger fight, possibly.
Yeah, I got 3 units on Abdul, Razak, Alhasan, minus 141 to win 2.12 units. So next up, fuck man, I can't. Jimmy Rivera versus John Dodson.
Yep.
So I got Jimmy Rivera.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Yep. So Jimmy Rivera versus John Dodson. I got Jimmy Rivera minus 141 to win 2.12 units, 3 units on him. I think he gets the job done. I think it's not going to be the easiest fight. I think he's going to have to chase John around a little bit, but I think the more forward pressure, the better combinations, the harder strikes will play a part in why he wins this fight, and I think he gets the job done here. Um, John Dodson, on the other hand, a guy who likes to fight for a split decision, never brings the action, very boring fighter. Um, and I don't like this haircut. Fucking stupid haircut. Yo, I think your audio just went out.
Oh no, I'm still good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day. Jimmy Rivera all day. He gets the job done. He's just a better striker, man. He's better.
Throw drop to the canvas, eh?
Yeah, like fuck John Dodson. What's he gonna bring to the table that Jimmy Rivera can't? He's a better striker. Jimmy Rivera's a better striker. He's a better grappler. He's better all around. He's just this is gonna be just a tough fight if he can get his hands on John Dodson. If John Dodson doesn't just run away the whole fight, maybe that'll be one possibility. But I don't see that happening. I see Jimmy Rivera closing the distance and putting a beating on John Dodson. So I got Jimmy Rivera here, 3 units, minus 141 to win 2.12 units. And actually have the over rounds here as well. Over rounds in this fight, then over rounds in Sterling and Stamann, minus 158, 4 units to win 2.53 units. So, confident.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous with the audio.
It's all good.
But yeah,
I
3 units on four units on Sterling and Stamann over 2.5 rounds. Minus 158 to win 2.53 units. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. John Dodson, if you already know it, if you can't catch him, you just can't win the fight. He's got amazing speed. It can kind of turn it on and turn it off when he wants to. He's got a lot of energy on reserve just in case. So his kind of standard pace that he goes at is so fast. And when he needs just a little bit more, he can use it. And he normally has a little more saved up just for if he has to get out of a tight spot. If he stands in the right spots and rattles off some combos, he can sometimes slip and trip over himself when he goes back to his running around. But, you know, due to his fast feet, he can really easily recover even after his mistakes and have opponents chasing after his second, maybe third last move. And he's already at a great spot, good at throwing blitzing double left hands, great forward pressure. and can move in and out of spots whenever he wants to. He's good at getting in the phone booth and getting back out, because that's where he does need to be to land a lot of his punches. He's got some quick kicks on the legs if he does land. And he does have a knockout over Gamburian, which, again, a lot of fighters must look at that fight and go, oh, man, this guy's got some hands and he's going to beat me up. Because a lot of fighters who fight Dodson seem to be almost stuck and trying to chase him and thinking that, okay, this guy's going to come out with a big shot, big punch, or a crazy combo. And they just kind of get lightly hit and brought into a split decision or fight that Dodson was able to just have enough energy to look better throughout. Uppercuts and left hooks from Jimmy Rivera can be intense, and putting people on their back foot is what he's really good at. With it being an explosive terror is an understatement. A lot of power and speed put into his leg kicks, which I think could knock Dodson off his balance and maybe be a big part in this fight. A lot of good feints, very slight head slips, almost like a flicker jab speed to them. Really bullet fast 1-2. I hope that's what he can use to catch Dodson. I mean, I think the speed is close, but I think Dodson could be a little bit quicker. He knocked down Almeida in their fight, and what an amazing left hook he has, landing and changing into a right hand, pushing Almeida to the fence. Has a good eye for body shots even after taking a head kick and knees. He's still got a lot of takedown potential as well, and he poses a huge threat both in and out of brawls, which is why I actually think he can take out Dodson and and be that answer to that big speed question here. So I think Rivera takes out John Dodson.
Interesting. Yeah, so I got the same thing. What's the next fight?
Is it Zabit or sorry, actually Jessica Andrade, I guess.
No, I think it's Zabit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Davis.
Sharipov taking on Davis. I'll let you take this one, actually. Yep.
Yeah, man. So Zabit got a replacement for this one. Brandon Killer B. Davis coming off of the Kyle Bochniak fight. I mean, they both fought Zabit as well. Kyle's really fast on the feet, and he can be very troubling in the first round. But I thought Brandon Davis did have a really good fight against him. He kind of started to die down a little bit in that fight, but he had some really good leg kicks, pretty evasive movement by Davis, and he does get hit at times with his low hand, like to talk a little shit. But in that Bochniak fight, if David can't catch you and start to walk you into his kicks and punches, he's really good at that. He likes to kind of walk around and almost time you, and then start to speed up just at the last second, get himself into the right spot, bang, throw his kicks, and maybe even brawl you up a little bit. He's always at a nice ready stance, ready to fire, ready to land. And that works well for his counters if he misses a shot and then has to avoid one and throw another shot. Got a sneaky uppercut in the third round of that Bochniak fight. The leg kick started to land for him and really started to walk Bochniak down. I like seeing Brandon Davis counter and wrestle, showing that he can make things happen in tight spots. But Zabit, man, having to change positions, he's really good at that. Really good at having a better performance each fight. Just when you think you've seen it all, a lot of subtle feints he has, but almost a calm energy before firing these crazy kicks. He does miss with a few of these spinning kicks or side kicks or a bit of flashy stuff, but he's always balanced, always remains nicely kind of positioned and ready to switch stances as well. Fast at getting that spinning side kick. I really like seeing that that move. Interesting how he dealt with Cal Bochniak. Probably one of the best combos he threw in that fight was at the very end of the round, and even some of the jump off the cage kicks, the Showtime kick. You know, sometimes the beat gets into a few troubled spots, but always seems to use a really smart takedown or a really smart single leg to kind of get him back in the match, threatening chokes and pulling off an anaconda choke in one of his fights too. I mean, this guy's a bag of tricks. Good at submissions, good at striking. He's great all around. I think he beat Brandon Davis, but the opponent change could be a little weird for Zabit, seeing as he was going to fight Yair Rodriguez. But Zabit looks like one of those guys who just doesn't care. He'll fight anybody.
Zabit doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, Zabit by destruction, 100%. Zabit's gonna fucking maul this guy and really put a beating on Brandon Davis. I think. After you see what he did to guys like Shaman Marias and Kyle Bochniak with just he broke his hands in that fight in that first round, and he still fucked up Kyle Bochniak and Mike Santiago. Like, the list goes on, man. This guy's no joke. He brings the fucking pressure. He's here to play, and I think Zabit's one of the best 145ers in the world, man. You can't. This is definitely like there's level to this shit, and Brandon Davis is not on this level. There's just levels to this shit, but like, warranted the guy's fucking minus 1400 right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Zabit's minus 1400 right now.
Maybe it's worth taking.
No. But yeah, he's a beat by destruction, bro.
By destruction. By fatality.
By destruction. Okay, next up is Jessica Andrade taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and Jessica Andrade just brings that fucking, like, her name, her nickname, man, that power driver game into her takedown. She just boom, she'll just slam you. She'll just slam you so hard on the top of your head, doesn't give a fuck. And she throws massive combinations at you, so she puts up these ridiculous numbers of strikes because she's throwing 4 or 5 strikes at you at a time. Heavy hands. I would like to see her use the leg kick a little bit more, but she doesn't. But I think she just mauls Karolina here. I think she gets the job done, and I think she knocks her out in the second or third round. TKO. The ref stops the fight.
Yeah. I liked Karolina's fight with Felice Herrig, split decision, and real nice brawl in that fight. You know, she's good at fighting off the fence. She's a good aggressor in the fight. Don't want to take too many leg kicks from her. She's got a great laser guided missile in her right hand, and likes to throw that left kick a lot. A lot of big tools for beating Andrade, but I like seeing her. I want to see her land that 1-2 that she landed on Herrig, and she can also throw a 1-2 and then clinch and then throw 2 knees afterwards, almost in like a 4-shot combo. I think that's really deadly. Work that clinch and try to beat Andrade up. Again, Andrade has that slam. So to answer with the if she doesn't land those knees exactly on point and with stopping power, Andrade definitely will go for those takedowns. And Andrade His takedowns are strong. Just puts a lot of muscle in them, and can be very unrelenting from first rounds on in some of her fights. Constant threats throughout, and she never gives up. She's always in it. Like, you can never count her out in this fight. At least that's what I took from the Joanna fight. She can get hit with lots of leg kicks. Man, just got brutalized by leg kicks and left hooks in that fight. So I think if Carolina does that similar strategy, she can she'll be able to take advantage of that fight and get back to where she needs to be and get into another main fight. So yeah, I think Carolina Kowalkiewicz wins this.
Carolina Kowalkiewicz wins this. Is that what you just said?
Sorry. Yeah, I think Carolina wins this. My bad.
Carolina.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. I read them down. My
what
bad.
are you talking about? Who wins? Yo.
Yeah, my bad.
Who wins?
I said Kowalkiewicz.
Oh my goodness. That's the fate of the week right there.
Why?
Somebody has to hold you accountable for these picks, bro.
Against Andrade?
That is a horrible pick.
Why? You don't think she gets the leg kicks in and strikes her out?
No, man.
Okay.
She's going to get mauled. Oh my goodness. She's going to get mauled, bro. Good on you for taking those picks.
All right. Like I said, I think she can use a lot of the same stuff she used on Eryk to win it. Oh, my bad. Audio cut. Sorry. For a second, I thought I got like the fight name wrong. I'm like, what the fuck? But nah, I got Kowalkiewicz. Why not?
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
You troll our fans with these picks. Please, everybody, comment if you guys think Gibbons trolling you guys with these picks. Okay, main event of the night: Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till. Oh, by the way, I have 5 units on Tatiana Suarez, and oh, my audio might cut. Just give me a second. Five units Tatiana Suarez. That's been minus 236 to like 2.12 units. Also 2.12 units here. Boom. Okay. So next up, Tyron Woodley, Darren Till. And this is going to be a tough match, I think. I think this goes all 5 rounds. No matter what. I know what people are thinking. Oh, what Darren Till is going to finish him, bro. Bro, Darren Till is going to finish him, bro. No. I don't see that happening. I don't see Tyron finishing Darren Till either. I see this going all 5 rounds. And I see this being handed to Tyron Woodley. I think Woodley gets the job done here. It's no surprise that I hate Darren Till, but fuck, man. I'm trying to not be as biased as I can. And even with that, I think Tyron Woodley still beats him. I think his wrestling, his single leg, is going to do a lot of damage. That leg's out there to be grabbed from Darren Till. And I don't think Darren Till has faced this level of competition yet in his career. I know he's faced Wonder Boy and whatnot. But other than Wonder Boy, he's beat up a Shot Cowboy, Yasin and Yari, Bojan Velikovic, like fucking just horrible fighters. Just horrible fighters. Just no clue how you're in a fucking title match. But hey.
No clue.
No idea how you even beat Wonder Boy when you're weighing 174 fucking pounds. No clue how you're doing that, brother.
He came in on weight this time.
Oh, came in on weight. Fucking was 174 pounds and 74 and a half pounds when he was fighting Wonder Boy. And then he beats him after this lackluster decision in his hometown and gets a fucking title match, man. Fuck Darren Till. Piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Fuck Darren
Super
Till.
hate.
Darren Till can go fuck himself. And I got Tyron Woodley.
Yeah?
To win. Let's go. T
Right.
Wood. Let's knock this motherfucker out.
Yeah, man. I was watching this. Woodley won the belt from Lawler. I really liked that fight. And he's been killing it ever since. Before that, his only real big loss and setback was to Roy McDonald. And after that, he got right on the winning track. We've seen a deadlier Woodley since. Be careful not to be in the path of that double right hand he's got. He keeps people back. And, when they're far back and Woodley starts throwing some hands, people are looking at it, trying to maybe slip a punch. All of a sudden, he goes for that wrestling takedown. And the punches don't stop on the ground either. Peppers in combos, knowing when and where to throw. A lot of people might not like his style. It might be a little boring to some, but he's really deciding what punches he's throwing. He's picking his shots. He's, he's backing up. He's using his wrestling. He's staying out of harm's way. And I think he's very smart about it. A lot of people cut him up online, kind of say like, oh, he's not an exciting fighter. And even Dana White kind of comes at him at the end of the fights too. But at the end of the day, he does what a lot of the analysts say that you have to do to win fights. Stay away from the ground. Don't grapple with Maya. He does all of that. And, it's looked at as a bad fight. So I hope Tyron Woodley ends there until it maybe even looks a lot higher level and really shows that he can put on entertaining fights and that this guy's a champ for a reason. Darren Till's a hunter still, though. He can hang back just as much, like we saw in that Stephen Thompson fight. He's got that that exchange and big knockdown at the fifth that I thought kind of was just barely enough to win him the fight. It was very close. It had to be in his hometown, like he said. I kind of like how he came out to Sweet Caroline and he kind of lived up the moment. I thought that was really cool of him. It's good that he got to fight in his hometown. He got a nasty left hand step in elbow. A lot of good short strikes. Might land against Woodley. A lot of the tie knees. He's pretty good on the fence against Cerrone. Once he was chasing him down and knew that he can start throwing the bombs, he really got the single kicks popping and jumped on him for the win. Good at stance switching and throwing that body kick. But Woodley has a big kick as well, and his legs pack a lot of punch. When he throws, he moves people. He fights toe to toe as well. Darren Till can be really interesting on the feet. He pops in and out of range a lot. So that's going to be a little annoying. And I kind of want to see his Sergio Mateus fight. Apparently he got a toe hold submission. I didn't find that online. I'd like to see it. I just want to see if maybe he can do any sort of submission like that. But Darren Till isn't really known for that. I could probably see Tyron Woodley choking him out rather than Till. But like I said, I think it might go to a decision, as Darren Till really has only been in two 5-round fights before, one with Wonder Boy and the other with Lourdes Costa de Silva, but that only went 4 rounds. So yeah, I think Tyron Woodley wins it due to experience and defends that belt. Yeah, what did you say there?
I said, fuck you, Darren Till.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Fuck Darren Till blocking me on Instagram, that motherfucker piece of shit.
Fuck. Come on, Till.
Come on, bro. But yeah, that's a UFC 228 breakdown. Bets, breakdown, and predictions. Hope you guys liked it. Have a good one. Catch
Kill
these
me in the
bets.
comments.
Cash these bets. Everyone, tell Gib what's gonna happen to
Got
Karolina
maxed out.
Kovalevich in the comments. Please let Gib know
Let me know.
what, like, was that a good pick or is he trolling us with that pick? Is he trolling us? Is he making fun of your brain?
Well, I'm picking the fight, so it's my brain, if anything.
Okay, I'll give you
They
that.
lose, they lose. They win, they win.
Yeah, but you've taken you fucking Luigi Burren. You've taken fucking Schwam Paint. You've taken
I'm a fan of that underdog story.
You would have taken Nico Montano.
No, I wouldn't. And I told you that before, so can't really say on that one. It's however I feel. Sometimes I feel like going for the underdog. Sometimes I feel like he's going to lose. But to be honest, it's when I don't pick the underdog where the underdog wins. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel a lot better.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Miller gets his first win in the next 3 fights. You never know.
Fuck that. Jim Miller's
I
not
wouldn't be
winning.
surprised. Stranger things have happened.
He's not beating Alex White. Nope. But okay, guys, enjoy. This was your breakdown. Cash these bets. Let's go.
Cash it.
Pulling off the sweep. Let's get it.